on clearing the clutter inside and out, we're talking about creating a sacred space. Would you like to create a space that brings you peace and joy? Why is it important to have a sacred space? Are you not sure where or what to put in your sacred space? Learn how to create a sacred space as we continue our month focusing on hodgepodge.
Ready to clear your clutter and share your gifts with the world? Every Tuesday at 1 p.m., join award-winning professional organizer, author, and certified life coach Julie Coraccio on clearing the clutter inside and out, as she teaches you how to navigate the waters to declutter your life. Julie Coraccio destroys the box and examines clutter in all areas.
Today's episode was inspired because I have a sacred space. I have been cluttering and dusting and doing spring cleaning, and I really had a desire to spruce up my sacred space. I used to have what I considered an altar. I don't have an altar anymore. I have, in my sacred space, there is a chair where I can meditate. I love this because it's my body knows, boom, sit down, start relaxing, start meditating. I have prayer beads. I have a singing bowl. I have crystals mainly. A couple other little things, but that's mainly what is in my sacred space. This episode was also inspired because I had a client I worked with who had a spouse that was well on his way to becoming a hoarder. One of the things we did was carve out a space for her to read and write. She might not have called it sacred, but it was for her. It brought her peace and joy, so she could work on things that brought her joy. It was her space and her space only. Why would we want to create a sacred space? A sacred space can be a private sanctuary for peace, prayer, meditation, reflection. It's an area in your home where you feel safe. You can cultivate deeper connection. It could also bring you better health and wellness. If you do a regular spiritual practice, meditation practice regularly, there are health benefits to that. What is a sacred space? A sacred space is any space or area that you have declared to have a sacred or perhaps holy purpose. This space allows you to express your spiritual nourishment, and it reminds you daily of your divinity, your uniqueness, your awesomeness. You can create a sacred space at home, at work, or even if you're traveling. Your sacred space can contain one single object. So maybe you're traveling and you travel with a statue of Kuan Yin, for example, or perhaps a crystal or gemstone. Or you can create, like I used to have, an altar where you have it in a specific location for a specific purpose. For some people, it could be an entire room. If I was rich and we had a big old house, I would have one room dedicated to meditating. If we could do it, I would absolutely do that. Perhaps if you really love nature, it can be an area in your garden. What does sacred or spiritual or religious mean to you? I'm going to suggest you begin by thinking about what makes a space sacred for you. This is your space for you and you only, unless you make the decision to share it. Honor your heart's desires. Trust your intuition to show where to put your space, what should be included, and how to use it. And go from there. Sit quietly and ask. A space like this is a great way to connect with yourself. It allows you to listen to your inner wisdom. I tell my clients all the time, they have the answers within. I support them by bringing those answers to the surface. I would never insist that I had the answers to someone. They know what's best for them. And I encourage yourself to be aware of people who tell you that they know what's best for you. There is not one size fits all. A sacred space is going to mean different things to different people. If you're religious, it perhaps means crosses on the wall, crucifixion on the wall, a Bible in your holy space. What will your sacred space mean to you? Before you actually begin creating a space, think about what purpose you'd like your space to provide and how you'd like to use it. It could be an area that you use daily, or weekly or monthly, by yourself or with loved ones. Set an intention for your space. Who will you allow there? Before you begin, think about what you're seeking and how you want to use it. Would you like to find peace? Simply have a space to get away from the hustle and bustle of the family and the home? Are you looking for a private sanctuary for things like meditation and prayer or quiet reflection? Would you like to designate it as a shared space for connecting with others or for rituals or ceremonies? Should it be a family project where everyone is involved and it is a continual family project that everyone works on? Perhaps you'd like to deepen intimacy with your partner or have regular times to spend in a special place with your family.
Started to organize and got stuck? Need questions answered or customized solutions? Looking for a professional organizer to bounce ideas? Go to reawakenyourbrilliance.com to learn how Julie Coraccio can help.
Express yourself. Make this area personal. Think about what you'll hear, what you'll smell, what you'll see, what you'll feel. What feels divine to you? What feels sensual to you? I'd encourage you to look at all your senses when creating your space. You might want to consider items that give you energy or relax you, inspire you, ignite your creativity, or allow you to be in the moment, to be present. I mentioned when I worked with a client and carved out a space with her, we simply used a screen. If you don't have a lot of room, you can use a screen, curtain, or other boundary to know that this is your sacred space. Where should you put your sacred space? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be an entire room. You carve out a little space. Things you might want to consider. Where you can see it. Maybe it's something you set up in your bedroom. When you're lying in bed, you can see it. Or in your office, on a table where you can see it daily. Or perhaps in a living room if it's something you'd like to share with the family. You can make it a small part of the room. I'm recording this, and as I look to the left, I can see my sacred space. It's in a guest room, so people, when they stay over, get the benefit from it. Doesn't have to be an entire room. Be great. Find a place where you have the space. It could be a corner or small area of a room. Maybe it's in a secluded area, such as a guest room, or in a garden outside. Take the time to think about where a good space would be for you. What items should you include in your sacred space? Ask yourself, what speaks to me? What inspires me? What moves me? What allows me to connect with my soul and my deepest knowing? Perhaps you have mementos, personal items that are meaningful to you. Talismans, such as symbols of peace and love. Visual art. Photographs of gurus, loved ones, special places. Statues. Who is divine to you? Who can protect you? Stones and shells and bits of nature from a special place. Candles and incense. Perhaps plants and flowers. Think about color, the lighting, textures, fabrics. I love the purple piece I have behind me. Carpets, mirrors, fountains, chimes. What speaks to your soul? Perhaps you'd like plants or flowers. Consider music that you'd like in the area, or something like a singing bowl. Personal divination tools such as the tarot or runes. Sacred text, words of wisdom or inspiration. Things you can do in your space. You can use rituals to celebrate and commemorate. Perhaps it's for the change of seasons, an ending or a beginning, anniversaries or special occasions, dedicating a new space or transforming an existing space, celebrating a relationship or success, to clarify an important decision. What would allow you to be more present? Now, if you're short on space, have fun and get creative. Maybe there's a corner in your home that's not being used. Something like a screen or a fabric that can separate a space. Maybe there's a bookshelf or windowsill that you could clear out to put your objects. Consider making it portable. You could fill a box with objects that are meaningful to you. I talk about my meditation chair. That's the meditation chair, one object. Have a special ceremony to welcome your space. When you're ready, take some time to set a positive intention for the space that you've marked out. You might want to use a prayer, mantra, meditation, have some music playing. Consider spending time reflecting on the meaning of the objects in your space. Go with the flow and allow it to change over time. I mentioned how I had an altar. I don't have an altar anymore. It's evolved. Find more things to place in it and clear out items that aren't useful to you anymore. Create new rituals and intentions as your spiritual or religious practice grows. Maintaining your sacred space. Guess what number 1 is? You got it, declutter. Do this on a regular basis. Make sure you're dusting, keeping it clean, and I'd encourage you to use natural cleaners, especially with sacred objects. You know, there are certain ways to clear crystals. You can put them in the moonlight. You want to make sure you're not doing anything that could harm them. As you're cleaning and decluttering, set your intentions. Have fun with it. Maybe use some sage to smudge, bang on a singing bowl, candles, whatever speaks to you. Along with setting the intention, if something like feng shui, activating the chakras speaks to you, then follow that and incorporate it into the space. Take actions. Find an area of your home or work where you can create a sacred or spiritual space. Consider having a portable space that you can take with you when you travel. Declutter and clean physically and energetically. Decide what purpose your space will serve. Check in with your intuition. What objects and items do you want to include? Fill your space. Commit to spending time in your space on a regular basis. On our next episode, we're talking about the psychology of stuff. Go out, clear the clutter to create the life you choose, deserve, and desire.
Ready to live a more joyful and fulfilling life? Sign up for our newsletter and receive a free copy of 10 Steps to Clearing Clutter Inside and Out. Learn more at reawakenyourbrilliance.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out. See you next Tuesday at 1 p.m.